being a person who's studied psychology, but also has, read lots of books about different spiritual and, other self-help kinds of practices through most of my adult life, I was just studying, reading, and reflecting on myself and looking at where I had been and all the things that I had experienced, the accomplishments that I've had as a father, as a professional, and just really trying to use all of my resources to solve this problems that I was facing. And I had read this book about, something called The Drama of the Gifted Child. And it talked about, how when we grow up to please our parents and to please adults and everyone, that we need to um, abandon our emotional growth and our emotional development in order to be accepted. And that there's this split between who you truly are and the emotions and the life that who you actually are and who you think you need to be in order to be loved and in order to be accepted. And I had read the book many, many years ago, but a friend had recommended it recently and during that time when I was having these struggle. And it was a really powerful book. And it really, just reminded me that there's, this person inside who's been kind of pushed aside. Some people call it your inner child or whatever, but just that Alan who had to abandon his feelings, his desires, his hopes, his dreams, and all of that in order to fit in order to be accepted in the world, both by my family, but also the broader world outside of that. And although I feel lucky, I feel fortunate to have, the family and the opportunities and challenges that my life has given me, I knew that there was a part of me that I needed to get back to and I needed to nurture in order to overcome the current situation that I was in, but also just to continue my journey in life, right? And so as I was looking, I really, started focusing on emotional healing, and I knew that that was what I needed to deal with. And I'm someone who trains counselors, and I'm not a practicing or a licensed therapist, but I have practiced in the past, and I teach, about psychotherapy. I teach about counseling, and also in education, right? I feel like teaching and counseling are the same. Like learning is healing, and so I kind of almost knew too much for my own good because I couldn't apply it to my own life. So I was looking to kind of reestablish or you know rediscover some things and applying them to myself. And so I was searching around and I found your website, or I found something that you had written about love and kindness and heart mindfulness. And I just started to read about it and it made a lot of sense. And something came over me to send you an email just to ask you a simple question. I don't even remember. I'd have to go back and look at the message, but I think I just wanted, maybe I feel like now knowing you and knowing the energy and the way in which you've opened up your heart to me immediately, it must have been something in what I read from your writing that caused me to want to contact you and be in touch with you.